Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to a video review for Stardust. It's a movie starring Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil from the TV show, Claire Danes, aka Juliet from Romeo plus Juliet, as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp's mom, and Robert De Niro. So, as always, I'm gonna do the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off the furry, they ride horses, and a couple of goats make a notable appearance, but that's about it. So moving on to the good, the bad. The good thing about this movie is that Robert De Niro actually plays a different character than he always does. Like he always seems to play, in my opinion, the same loud, gruff, blah 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 character. Like he's every time. But this time he actually plays a different style character, and he does it really well. So props to him. Nowadays it kind of reminded me of Our Flag Means Death for that sequence, but if you haven't seen that show, don't worry about it. Um, so basically, this is the story of a dude who falls in love with a person from the Fey realm. I don't know what they call it. The magic Fey. I'm going to call it the Fey realm. The Fey realm. And then he comes back to his side. Turns out he fell in love and got her pregnant. So now he raises a son, and then the son gets old enough, and he's like, "Hey, son, go meet your mom." And then there's a king who's dying, and he has his four sons, and they're like, gonna vie for the throne. So he's like, "Here, I'm gonna chuck this necklace up in the sky, and whichever one of you can make the necklace go from being clear to being back to red wins and gets to be king." And the necklace apparently hit a star, who was Claire Danes, who falls to the earth, and then our hero characters, for some reason, gets transported to him, and then their adventure ensues to try to escape from people trying to capture them, and the witch that is like, "Oh, that star has energy we need, so let's go capture her and eat her heart or whatever." So you can tell from from just the setup to the story that it's a little convoluted. And I will say that this movie, I think, has some tonal issues. Like, it's being played very seriously by our main characters, and there's love and there's danger and there's forthrightness. But I feel like this would have been better played as a slapstick comedy, almost like a like The Spy Who Dumped Me type of movie, because just the setup of it is just so incongruous with the rest of the action things going on. Like there's the dead brothers that were murdered by the last king are just chilling, and it took a good while into the movie before I realized that okay, so those guys are just there haunting things, but nobody else can see them. I thought that it was a Harry Potter painting situation. It's not. They just other people just can't fucking see them. So, but they're there taking up screen time, and then there's just the introduction of so many different elements in a way that just, it doesn't seem like they have a well-established universe. It just seems like every time they introduce a new thing, it just completely changes how the universe should have functioned or how people would function in it. But they're just no, just go along with it. It's important for this bit that's happening. And so I felt like there was some definite rule making things that they just didn't effectively establish. And it just seemed like a lot of it was oh, and now here's the gotcha thing that you didn't know as the audience, and they didn't know, and it's kind of out of left field, but you have to go with it because we didn't explicitly say that it wasn't against this universe's rules, so that's how this place functions. And then there was also there was more than one instance of just hey, if you had just written something down, or just voiced your opinion about something, or just clarified, or said did just the minorest of talking, of the actual communication thing, then a lot of this would have been prevented, and just solved much more quickly. So I don't know. I think that there are some people that might enjoy it. I think it has, it does have some fantastical elements. There's, flying ships, and there's magic, and there's this bit of a world, but it just, I don't think it did a good job of establishing the world before launching you into this love story that is so dependent on the differences with this world. But it didn't even quite feel like an Alice in Wonderland sort of thing. Or if it did, it felt like it in a not good comparison where things are just changing all the time in a way that doesn't jive. And even in Alice in Wonderland, like you expect the unexpected of weirdness, whereas here it was odd. So it was okay. I'm gonna say that it was. I probably wouldn't watch it again, so I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. But just I think that there are people out there that enjoy this type of movie. It is at its heart like a romance movie, but with swashbuckling action and some fantasy elements. But it just was not my cup of tea. So I think that some people will enjoy that. The CGI for what it was fine. I didn't see anything that was particularly egregious. I think that within the world and realism level that they established, I think it all worked. But yeah, overall, I found the storyline just just a little bit lacking. And yeah, so that's really all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.